Okay, welcome to lesson 7 of our beginners modules. In this lesson we're going to be taking a look at the blues scale, and as the blues scale suggests, commonly found in blues, but obviously found in other forms of music from rock and metal, jazz. It's quite an easy scale for you to work on, as it's just a very, very small variation on your minor pentatonic scale. If we just recap on how we found the minor pentatonic scale from a couple of lessons ago, the minor pentatonic was basically, we take the major scale of the same name. Whenever you're trying to work out new chords, new scales, you always relate back to the major scale of the same name. I think I described it in a previous lesson as the hub, where, that's the centre and everything else musical works around it. So I think that's a good point of reference for you. If we take the major scale, we take note 1, miss out note 2, take the third note, the major third, but we actually flatten it by 1 semitone, so it's now a minor third. Play note 4, 5, miss out note 6, but take note 7 and lower note 7, so it becomes a minor 7th. So the formula of the minor pentatonic was root, which is A, C, C sharp, C, which is minor third, D, 4th, E, 5th, G, minor 7, and then root note A. Now, the one difference between the minor pentatonic scale and the blues scale is that we just include 1 extra note, and the note in question is the flattened 5th. And a flat 5th is quite a dissonant sounding interval. If you imagine a 5th, that basically means from the root note up 5 notes up the major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A flat 5 means we take the 5th note, do, re, mi, fa, sol, and we just lower it by a semitone, so you get this. It's quite a dissonant interval, commonly found in heavy metal and things like that, although Jimi Hendrix used the flat 5 interval at the beginning of Purple Haze. So it's quite a mood-evoking interval. It sounds very dissonant, it sounds very aggressive. But used in the right context in blues and rock, it can be used to add a lot of tension into a solo. If I play, can you hear I start off in tonality with this chord? It sounds very dissonant, but then there's that kind of tension and release kind of idea. So if it's used properly, it's quite a powerful tool. I wouldn't suggest that you sit on that note by any means. It is a passing note. It's almost a chromatic tone. Well, it is a chromatic interval. So make sure that it's used as in context. Don't just sit on that note. Anyway, I'm going to play pattern 1 for you, and we can take a look at where this extra note is. Here we go. So it's exactly the same as the minor pentatonic, except 1 extra note. 5, 8, 5, 6, 7. There's the blues note, the flat 5. 5, 7, 5, 7, and then 8 onto the B. 5, 8, 5, 8. Straight away, that pattern there lends itself to some quite nice sort of soloing ideas. Basically, because of including the E flat, the flat 5, it keeps that minor third shape across the top 3 strings. It has an inherently kind of bluesy tonality to it. Okay, here's shape number 2. we start off 8, 10 and 11, 7, 10, 7, 10, 7, 8, 9, 8, 10, 8, 10, 11. So you can hear again where I'm including that note. Some nice shapes around here on the top of this pattern. Very bluesy sounding, very cool sound. Okay, here's pattern number 3. Same as the minor pentatonic, just with the added E flat note. So 10, 11, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 13, 9, 12, 10, 13, 10, 11, 12. Moving on to our next shape, shape number 4, starting off on the 12th fret at the bottom here. You could actually start on the 11th fret if you wanted to, just to slide in from the flat 5, but that's out of the shape. Here we go. Starting off 12 to 15, 12, 15, 12, 13, 14, 12, 14, 13, 15, 16, 12, 15. Simply moving around from one shape to the next. And here's our next shape, shape number 5. 15 to 17 on the bottom E, 15, 17, 18 on the A, 14, 17, 14, 17, 15, 16, 17, and 15, 17. And then obviously everything starts again. So it's kind of at this point important for you to remember some of the ideas that we looked at in our previous lesson, whereby we work on sequences and patterns. You can obviously incorporate some of the blues note ideas into sequences. I kind of mess around quite a lot with things like this to work on my picking. Very, very simple little idea, just working across 2 strings, but playing 5, 7 and 8 on the G string, and then 5 on the B. Quite a nice way of, practicing the picking and getting some of those bluesy sounds and that tension into your soloing. Also, we can work across the strings in pairs, which was something that we touched base on last time. If I run through the top 2 strings, remember again that these shapes are duplicated across the other strings that are in a 4th interval or tuned as a 4th interval, apart from the G and the B, which is a 3rd interval. So here's the position number 1. I'd actually start out of this shape. I'd start on the 4th fret and slide into the 5th, so you get this. Shape number 2. Shape number 3. Shape number 4. And shape number 5. And you can use those to move right across the neck. So once we've started to look at these ideas on the pairs of strings, it's then possible to, you know, take an idea like a figure, say, and work it down across, you know, the pairs of strings. As I said before, this choice of scale is. It's not something that you would necessarily sit on for a long time. It's more of a passing tone to just be added into your pentatonic, you know, scale soloing. So don't, you know, necessarily approach it as a completely different scale. Maybe just look at your minor pentatonic and think, well, I can also include this E flat in there. You know, playing your pentatonic patterns. You can see how it adds quite a lot of colour to some, you know, very, very basic sounding scales. Here's your backing track, jam track for lesson 7. This is a shuffle blues, a dominant shuffle blues, and in this playout I'm going to just demonstrate a few ideas around the blues scale and the minor pentatonic scale. Obviously you can use this track to just practice straight up and down the scale, but obviously you've seen me already doing that in one of our previous lessons with the pentatonic scale, so you can maybe now hear how the blues note will affect the sound of your regular minor pentatonic. Anyway, don't forget, go onto the Lick Library and you can download lesson 7 backing track.